Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, as long as you're above where YouTube makes me click that thing so this video can get advertisements and is not subject to that whole COPA guideline thing, you guys remember that controversy. That joke totally is going to land the second time because this is the second time that I'm delivering it. Today we're going to talk about a follow-up to Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. He has finally issued a formal apology. It may be ridiculous in every possible way, and we're going to delve into it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go over the fact that Chris Rock is still 100% in the right, Will Smith is still 100% in the wrong, and for whatever reason, the Smith family is just so processed, and it's like they have a PR team attached to their brainstem, and everything they do appears to be even more ridiculous than the previous thing. But before we get into that, before we talk about it, before we delve deep in this great issue of our time, in this greatest ceremony of our time, which of course is the Oscars, especially the recent year Oscars, we got a sponsor for this video, so I'm gonna toss it over to the sponsor. That was the toss motion for today, and then I'll bring it back over here, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. There is a new study out, 1,100 participants, and the data strongly suggests that collagen can help reduce the signs of aging. We're talking wrinkles, we're talking better looking hair, we're talking better looking nails, and this is one of the reasons why I've been taking collagen for so long, because I believe this to be working, and now it's backed up by the science. But not all collagen powders are created equal. There's actually 5 different collagen types, and the ones that you'll find at the store often won't even have more than one of them. This is why I highly recommend Health with Justice. This powder is the tops, and the great thing about it is it's so easy to use. 1 scoop every single day. You can do it with your smoothie in the morning. I do it with my coffee because it does a weird thing to my coffee and I kind of like it, and you can get the effects of reduced aging signs, skin elasticity, reduced wrinkles, better hair, nail, and skin. All can be yours for 50% off at healthwithjustice.com. 60-day money-back guarantee. That is healthwithjustice.com. Alright, I'm gonna come out against it right away. I know it's not fair to prejudge, I know it's not fair for me to already attack this apology video, but it's already gone too far. You can't just, after months of being silent on this issue, which by the way isn't that big of an issue, it was a thing that happened, do a thing where you open up your video with everything out of focus and then some text about how you're doing some personal work, whatever, and then I hear you sigh. I know, Will Smith, you are a professional YouTuber. You were the face of YouTube Rewind because you started your career on YouTube, as we all know, as the platform of YouTube would want us to believe, but you can't have the sigh in the video. It's like the sigh in the video and then sitting down on camera and not editing that out, that's gone too far, and if I see you sit down, Will, I'm out of here. You're done. You're done. This video is going to be the shortest video ever. Okay, so I actually haven't watched this before I decided to do a reaction to it, so I was legitimately not expecting him to do the sit down and the sigh, which, by the way, that sigh was caught really well. I don't know if Will Smith has the microphone mounted or if he has a microphone in front of him. Later on in this video, we will find out. But if that sigh was caught on the microphone and the microphone's supposed to be like this, then I'm going to argue that that sigh was not caught on a microphone and Will Smith actually walked up to a separate microphone to do the sigh and then came and sat down, which already I'm already ruling against you, Will. It's already you're done. I was willing to blame Jada. If you throw Jada under the bus during this situation, that's fine. That's fair. I'm into it. I can support it. But if you're signing into microphones off camera, it's a wrap. We can't talk. We're done, Will. It's not you. It's me.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech?
Okay, the question is answered. The mic is actually right here, which means confirmed. Will Smith walked up to a separate microphone and sided it intensely, or Will Smith added the sigh in post-production. I know you come to me for the top level of analysis, and that's what I give, and that's what I deliver. Also, Will Smith reads weird, but I'm not going to make a thing about it, because a lot of people read weird, and I read very not good, so I'm not going to criticize anybody. As somebody who has to read words on the page to be an actor, he's been far more successful with his weird reading than I've been in my life, and honestly, I'm ashamed of that. I should have probably thought of going to a separate microphone or adding in size in post-production. Then I would have been way more successful.
I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you.
This may actually be the worst thing that I will ever watch on this channel. This may be the bridge too far. This may be the thing that, honestly, if my channel got deleted after, I would say I ended on a low note and I might have to just opt out of ever showing my face in public again. What the hell was that? Will, what are you doing? What's going on with your inflection? You are an actor, man. You won Best Actor Man at the Oscars, and this is the best actor manning that you could do? I will tell you, Chris, I am sorry. Let me do this hand gesture so you think it's real. I definitely want the body language experts, you know, the panel where they have the 4 body language guys, to break down this video, because I'm sure, as a layman with no evidence at all whatsoever, that this is not a genuine apology. This is Will Smith being a crybaby bad actor man who probably should give back his Actor Man award because he's not a very good actor man in this video.
I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and you know, that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and you know, I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. You know, we had a great relationship. You know, Tony Rock was my man. And this is probably irreparable.
So now Will Smith is talking about all the people that were impacted by this. His slap was heard around the world, and it hurt a lot of people around the world because he saw an interview with his mother. And I'm going to say this. If he apologizes to Jada Pinkett Smith in this, that's a wrap. We're done. We're packing it up. We're going home. I know I just made that promise early on where I said if he sits down in the chair, then it's a wrap. We're done. We're going home. But here in this moment, I'm going to tell you, if he says, I need to apologize to Jada because his wife was also a victim in this situation, game over, bro. No. Wrong, incorrect, and not even close. Thanks for playing. Also, it's weird that you're bringing up all his family. I knew your family so well, Chris, but I disrespected you because I didn't know you were a comedian, and my wife was oversensitive, and she was staring at me, and I was laughing at the joke, and somehow I got offended at it because it was a thing that happened Oscar night, even though there was clearly a rehearsal before, reportedly, where I would have heard the exact same joke. Also, the joke was very mild.
I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever watched. I spent the last 3 months replaying. Look at the hand gestures. Again, body language, guys. Please, if you guys know anybody at the language behavior panel, whatever, please send them this video. Demand that they react to it. Pay them whatever ransom they want. We need to see this because I need to know what this is an indication of. I was thinking about it for months, and then irreparable damage, whatever. Will Smith, I've been replaying the complexities. It's not that complex. You got offended, or your wife got offended by a joke, one of the two, and you decided to storm a stage on live television and assault another man who was telling a joke as a comedian because you guys don't like the fact that he was roasting you. You think you're better than other people. You think you're better than the average person. Your wife for damn sure thinks she's better than other people and the average person. Therefore, you felt entitled to strike somebody for daring to disrespect you. This might be due to your connections reportedly with Scientology because you're supposed to assert dominance over the non-believers. That might be some complexity in there, but honestly and genuinely, you assaulted a man over a joke, period, end of sentence. Everybody who defends you is wrong. If you're saying it's this complex thing, It's also wrong the fact that you couldn't be man enough to talk about how you were in the wrong in your acceptance speech, and you actually attributed it to the character that you are playing, who then immediately said, "That's ridiculous and absurd. That's not who I am, and Will Smith shouldn't have invoked me protecting my daughters for what he did on stage in a situation where it was not required." It's absurd, Will. Stop. Please, please. You're worse than Will Smith in the Peacock Fresh Prince of Bel-Air right now. That's the level you're operating at.
But I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults.
So there's no part of him that feels like that was acceptable behavior. After being beat up about this for months and months and months, now Will Smith wants you to know, after no part of him thinks it's an unacceptable behavior. Again, hand gestures, again, repetition, again, awkward speech tone, awkward body language, an entirely awkward setup. Everything about this is weird and strange, and why now, and why like this, and why talk about how you definitely reached out to Chris Rock, and whenever you're ready, Christopher, you come to me, Will Smith. The ball's in your court. Please, for the love of God, let me save my reputation, even though it's definitely tarnished.
After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something?
So, of course, Jada Pinkett Smith's face comes into the situation, and obviously, I already know he's going to say definitely not, that she didn't tell him to do this, but the point is, the question is kind of stupid, because whether or not she said something is irrelevant. Will Smith was laughing, he looked over at his wife was rolling her eyes, she looked annoyed, she looked angry, because how dare she be insulted by somebody that she sees as beneath him, and then Will Smith acted.
No. It's like, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on.
He just apologized to his wife. He just apologized to Jada Pinkett Smith. He just said, "I'm sorry, babe." And I honestly, this is unsalvageable. I haven't seen the likes to dislikes. I've only watched this on my phone right now in this moment, but I'm going to put it up on screen right now. I think it's going to be bad. I think this is not going to be received well. And by the way, go get yourself the YouTube plugin that reveals the dislikes. It's for Chrome, it's an extension, it's free, it's hilarious. And I'm guaranteeing you, based on the fact that I can see 180,000 views and only 4,300 likes, this is no bueno for Will Smith. This is not going over well. This isn't being received well. And the fact that he just apologized to Jada, come on.
To all my fellow nominees, this is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me. And it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. It happened on Questlove's award. And, it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient.
So yeah, he did overshadow the guy who won the award for whatever. Honestly, I don't know what it is, because Will Smith distracted me from this whole situation. Although I wasn't watching the Oscars, so I wouldn't know who it was anyway. But in that regard, Will, you really stole the show from whoever it was and whatever they won in that moment. And bad man, you bad man.
What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down?
What he should say is, have you heard anything that my wife has said about my personal life? You definitely shouldn't be looking up to me well before the slap. This was the least of your issues if you were looking up to Will Smith the person. That's what he should say.
So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down.
Disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate letting people down. It hurts. This feels like something that he's worked out definitely with his wife. This feels like his wife talking through him. This feels like a puppeteering moment. And honestly, it's awkward. It's getting to the point where I don't think I could finish this video, if we're being 100% honest.
So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me.
Well, Will, you shouldn't feel so hurt and emotionally and psychologically damaged by not living up to people's impression of you. What should bother you is that you didn't follow the basic standards for human decency that we expect from anybody, especially people at a giant party, part of which is set up to honor you specifically, because this was the night that you were going to win Best Actor, man. Everybody knew that you were up for Best Actor, man. That's why you're sitting center stage the whole time amongst the crowd, and they kept cutting back to you as an actor, man. So what you should have done is taken your shots, taken your hits, because the comedian is up there to roast you, because ultimately this is an industry award show and you are being cheered on, and it's basically self-flagellation for all these famous people. And the only bit of joy that people get from this, or the only bit of joy that normal people should get from this, is when the comedian takes some shots at you. That's one of the reasons why people love Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes, because he takes these people down a peg.
And the work I'm trying to do is, I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human, and I made a mistake.
Probably the worst thing that the progressives have ever done, probably the worst crime that they ever committed, was the outright murder of the English language. What is this obsession with doing the work, work, when you're not talking about work? You're talking about feelings and processing your nonsense and all this whatever. It's not work, Will, and nobody cares that you're trying to do the work, whatever that means, while also not feeling ashamed of yourself, because, you know, you're human, bro. You're human. Did you know that I'm human? I love this excuse. You could just say, look, I did something bad, and I take accountability for it, and that's it. Or you could say, I'm doing the work, but I don't want to be ashamed of myself because, you know, I'm human and I had a human reaction. And honestly, you're the bad person because this is my central trauma and I'm doing the work. Are you doing the work? I got to do the work. That's how you know I'm a progressive on the right side of all these political issues, and definitely very, very progressive, because I'm doing the work and dealing with my emotional trauma while acknowledging that I'm human. I'm just a human being, bro. I'm just going through all the human things that you're going through. Just think about my humanity. I mean, I totally tried to insult somebody by slapping them across the face, which is the humiliation tactic on national television and an award show, whatever. But, you know, I'm human and I'm just doing the work. I'm doing the work.
And I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit. So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking. But I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And, you know, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
Oh, God. Just horrible. First of all, the parasocial relation thing, unacceptable. I talk about on this channel all the time about how it's important to let your people in the audience know that they are people in your audience. Don't try to have them build this emotional connection with you, which is clearly a parasocial relationship. I know that's a good tactic, and a lot of Twitch streamers use that. A lot of people in this industry where you're in front of a camera, whether it's the adult version of it or the social media version of it, do this exact same thing, and it ends up creating unrealistic expectations and all manner of negative consequences. But in the short term, it's a technique to overconnect with somebody so you can extract more money out of them. I don't think that's decent. I don't like that at the end. But I will say the idea that Will Smith is a piece of, you know what? No, it's not true. He did something that was bad, and overall, the totality of his actions might make him not a good person or a good person, but honestly, I'm not getting into his whole life situation based on this incident. He did something bad. You are not defined by the absolute worst thing that you did, and you can talk about it, you can take accountability for it, and then you can apologize for it, and then hopefully you get to move on. That's pretty much it. That's really all you can do. You acknowledge faults. You don't talk about doing the work and your central trauma and how you're really trying not to see yourself as this terrible person because you're having a human moment and you're doing the work. But whatever. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. I don't want to hear about how these people out there in the fan base that looked up to you and are disappointed in you are going to be friends with you again. They were never friends with you in the first place. You're trying to sell them on that parasocial relationship. You hurt your image. This is an attempt to recover your image, but you can also actually have a genuine situation where you do an apology and you mean it to the person that you insulted, to the person that you infected. He took so long to do this, and he issued an apology statement, if you remember, to the Academy and everybody else but Chris Rock, because obviously he has some animosity against Chris Rock. He should work that out. He shouldn't have done it on the stage. He shouldn't have let his wife rolling her eyes make him angry. And this whole thing, the idea that he could separate it from his wife when he was screaming at Chris Rock after he was laughing at the joke to keep his wife's name out of his mouth, is absurd. You got to deal with the own issues in your own marriage. You got to deal with your own problems, and then you can deal with other things out there in the world. That is what it is. That's what you should know. You should calm down, stop freaking out, stop bugging out, and stop with this whole charade and this overly dramatic nonsense. This was not the best way to proceed, but I get it. You're an actor. You're not really a YouTuber. You don't know how to connect with an audience. You watched a bunch of apology videos. You knew you needed to sigh and then sit down in the seat, and that is what it is. Now, fundamentally, I don't care if you forgive Will Smith. I don't care if you forget Will Smith. It's not a big deal, but I am interested to a certain extent about what you guys think, so let me know down in the comments below. If you liked this video, show me by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on all my social medias, support me via the support links in the description box of this video. This has been me talking about that whole Will Smith thing, and then he did an apology, and then there was a whole thing about that, and then whatever. Till next time.